Good morning, everybody, and welcome to day 3 of the Attracting Your Soulmate Client Challenge. I'm so excited for today because we are going to take the next step in truly attracting that soulmate client. So far this week, we have talked about who you are and getting really super clear on who you are. And today we're going to dive in on who that person is so that you can bring them even closer into your circle. So we're going to take just a couple seconds here and wait for everybody to get on live. And then we will get started. If you do jump on, make sure you give me a little shout out in the comments so I know you're there. And I know where that the comments are working. And we will get started. So, in case you don't know me, I'm Rachel. I'm a mom of 6, and we actually have all 6 kids home today because it is another snow day. This is snow day number 6 in South Dakota here. I think within a month of school, we've hardly gone to school. So we're going to be going to school all the way until June. So they're all home here today, so hopefully there won't be too many interruptions. But it totally creates havoc on your schedule. All of a sudden, it's like, well, everybody's here, and we got to do different things to get people where they need to be, and it always makes everything a little bit more fun. So let's dive in then. Today, we're going to talk about who your soulmate client is. So up until now, day 1, we talked about who you are and getting really deep into who you are and what you want and where you've been and what your story is and all that type of thing. And then on day 2, we did a Q&A yesterday, but I sent you some journal prompts yesterday that you could use to really dive deep into a little bit deeper into who you are. You know, where do you like to create a controversy? What type of opinions do you have that are different than everybody else's opinions? And how do you make yourself different? And we had some really great questions about where people are looking to attract their clients and that type of thing. And so today I want to dive into who that client is. And we're going to do a really cool exercise at the end of this where you are going to actually do some visualization and meeting who that soulmate client is. But before we dive into that, I want to throw some questions out at you. And those are things about your client. So who is she? What is she like? How does she feel? Those are the big things that we're going to focus on today. Now, we've talked before about those IC exercises that everybody's done that are all about, you know, what color is her eye? What color are her eyes? Where does she like to hang out? What's her favorite TV show, her favorite magazine? And I'm not saying that those things aren't important. They are, but they are reasons maybe like, because one of my favorite TV shows is Grey's Anatomy. And so that's a way that I have found that I can connect with other people. If they like Grey's Anatomy, that's a talking point where we can connect. But that doesn't really help me connect with who my soulmate client is, because that person, just because there's a million people in the world that like Grey's Anatomy, does not mean that they're all my soulmate clients. Again, it's a connection point. I might have something in common with someone, just like if you were going to a party and you were going to go up and talk to somebody, something I would talk to them about is, oh, your favorite TV show is Grey's Anatomy. Oh my gosh, who's your favorite character? It can be that whole talking point. But when you are talking about your soulmate client, that stuff doesn't really matter a whole lot. If you are going to connect with that person and you're going to attract them to you, then you need to focus on a little bit more than those surface details. You need to dive really deep into who they are. So what I want you to do is I want you to think about how that client feels and how they are going to feel when they use your service or product. How are they going to feel while you're coaching them? Really dig into feelings. And this is why I asked you to do this work on Monday or Tuesday, was to figure out about think about how you feel and where you're coming from, and to get really deep into where you came from. And again, your feelings, because then you're going to be able to more closely identify with your ideal client's feelings. And you're going to be able to share more about how you feel about a certain thing. And they're again going to relate back to you about how they feel about that particular thing. So I know Lauren just jumped on, and I know Lauren does divorce coaching. So that's a very feely area. And so that's going to be an area where the feeling is really going to be important. So Lauren says, I feel like I use too many words. Sometimes when we first write something, our content, it does get a little wordy. And that's why it's always a good idea to go back and read through and take out the things that are superfluous types words. So when you say, now I'm seeing your next comment, Lauren, it's like a novel and it changes with everyone I talk to. So are you talking with when you're having a conversation with somebody, or are you talking about when you're actually doing some content creation? Let me know where you're feeling like you're too wordy, and we can kind of talk about that. But so again, using Lauren as an example, divorce coaching. So when she's going to share a social media post, she's going to want to get really deep in the feelings. So she can create a post that just says, hey, I can help you, get through all the garbage that you deal with when you're going through divorce. And I can help you sort out this and unclutter this and do this, that, or the other thing. Or she can get into, hey, I've been there. I know how awful it feels when your life's falling apart and you feel like you have no place to go and nobody to turn to, nobody to talk to. It feels lonely. Getting into how they feel is what's going to capture their attention. So just to use kind of another example, this came up in my house actually a couple days ago. So the Calgon commercial, I can't remember if I mentioned this yesterday or not, but we were at, I was working with my kids on their school stuff, and they were like four of them there were coming at me with questions. I don't understand this. I can't do this. I don't know what I'm going to do here. And it was like, oh my gosh, like overload. And I said out loud, and I went up to this guy, I said, Calgon, take me away. And my kids looked at me like I was nuts. So I found that commercial online. And if you go to my personal Facebook page, I posted it. And it was like, how many of you had no idea what this meant when it first came out in the 70s? And how many of you totally get it now? And the thing is that as a kid, I couldn't connect with that at all. I liked to take baths. I liked bubble baths, but I couldn't connect with why this mom needed to be taken away and what this bubble bath powder was going to do for her. It didn't hit me in the feels at all. Now as an adult, granted it makes me laugh because it's kind of an old commercial, but I get it. The dog's barking, the husband wants something, the kids want something, the pot's over boiling, or whatever they show in that commercial, they caught me in the feels. Like they knew that I would get it. That anybody watching that commercial that needed to be taken away would get what Calgon can do for me. They got me in the feels. And so that's why touching on how you feel is going to be able to get you out to how your client feels even more. And that's why I wanted you to start with those exercises about digging in deep into who you are, because then you really get into your feelings and you can better create content that is going to dive into your soulmate client's feelings as well. So really think about how your client feels and how they want to feel. So if you can look at now and go, okay, I know that you're feeling lonely and you have no place to turn. Or maybe it's a weight loss issue. Maybe you're feeling like you've tried everything and you're sick of being starving and sick of busting out an hour and a half in the gym, all these things about how they feel, what they're sick of feeling like, and then take them to that island of how they can feel about how you feel. I felt the same way, but now that I'm doing ABC program, I get to eat all the time. I never feel like I'm starving. My workouts are so much fun. I can't wait to do them. You're getting into how they feel now and how they want to feel. And they're going to see that you're building that bridge for them to get them to from Island A to Island B, and they're going to want to get on that bridge with you. So Lauren says, I asked if it was in content creation or in her speaking, and she said it was both, but mostly talking with people because there's so many areas to discuss. So at times I try to be very broad, but hidden some pain points to relate, to start conversations with people, and then we have a more specific conversation pertaining to their personal situation. So you kind of hit the nail on the head, Lauren. Exactly what I was going to say at the very end there was that you can have a more specific conversation pertaining to their personal situation. And so I got to ask you, Lauren, do you feel like when you're having these conversations with people, are you doing more of the talking, or are they doing more of the talking? Because especially at the beginning of if this is a sales conversation, you want to let your clients do most of the talking. So you're asking a lot of questions and you're taking a lot of notes, or if you're having a conversation in person and you don't want to take notes, you're taking mental notes, getting to know how are they feeling. Okay. And this is kind of where market research comes into play. So like I said, we're going to do a little visualization exercise at the end, but I want you to dive even deeper into this. For some homework is to really getting into your client's head. How does she feel? So when you're having a conversation with somebody and they, you're just out at a party or gathering and they're like, oh, I, just recently got divorced and I just am struggling. I don't know if people say that kind of stuff to you, but it's just like if you're somewhere, and I would get people all the time, oh, what do you do? Oh, I'm a health and fitness coach. Oh my gosh, I've been trying to lose weight for 10 years and I cannot get rid of the last 10 pounds of that baby weight, and my baby's 10. And they start picking your brain before you launch into, oh my gosh, well, I have the most perfect program and it's an hour a day and it goes for 3 months and we eat a ton of food and it's so much fun. I have this accountability group. Oh my gosh, would you like to join me? Okay. Right there, they're going, wow, that sounds salesy. They feel like they're being sold to, and you haven't listened to any of their feelings or thoughts or what they want or anything. So instead of diving into, here's what I can do and here's what I do, go into, really that, that I totally understand how that is. I've had 6 kids. I know that struggle. What kind of things have you tried? And maybe you might ask them, oh gosh, what did it feel like when you tried that program and you gained the weight back? Or yeah, that starvation thing, like what kind of foods are you eating? Get into their head and find out what they've been doing, but find out how they feel about it. People buy things because of how you make them feel, not because of what you have. So I always tell my clients, and we're going to talk about this a ton in the group coaching, the Up Level Academy program. We're going to talk about helping your clients see how this is going to benefit them. Again, hour-long program. We do it for 3 months. We do this. I give you that, da, da, da. How is it going to benefit them? How are they going to feel when they are done with this program, while they're doing the program? Really get into their feelings. And I cannot harp on that word enough. Feel, 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 feel. It's all about how they are going to feel, because they don't buy the thing. They buy what you are going to, how you're going to make them feel, how you're going to help them feel. So really think about that when you're diving into who that ideal client is and what they want. So Lauren also mentioned pain points, that she tries to be very broad and hit some pain points. You want to find out what their pain points are. And again, once you have been doing this for a while and you really know who your soulmate client is, then you're going to have a pretty good idea of the pain points. And the pain points are going to be pretty specific to who your niche is. And that's why I say it's really important to narrow down who you're talking to. I talk with a lot of people that are like, oh, I just want to help moms. Well, there's a lot of different moms out there. And if you're trying to help moms lose weight, you're going to miss out on all of them, because you're not getting specific. You're not going to attract that client that has been struggling with the program for 5 years. Or maybe you help moms take their gut health back. Well, until you get specific about the different kinds of pains that they have with their gut health, maybe it's being embarrassed going out in public because they have to go to the bathroom all the time, or maybe it's embarrassing gas, or whatever it might be. Maybe they can't eat things when they go out with friends, and it makes them feel crappy because they can't go out to eat with their friends. Until you get into the feelings, you can say, yep, I'm going to heal your gut. And they're like, all right, that's great. I've heard that before. But until you can get into how they're going to feel once their gut is healed, they're just not going to want to dive in with you. They're not going to be interested in what you have to offer. And so getting into their head is important. And so you can start now by getting into your head and putting that down on paper and sharing that story. And the more you evolve, the more market research you do, the more you talk to people, the more clients you help, you're going to have an even better idea of what's going on in your client's head. What are their pain points? What are they feeling, and how do they want to feel? Lauren says, I try to allow them to do most of the talking, and then we start working together. I talk about me, say, so they know I know, yeah, and you need to do a little bit about that. When I coach my clients, and you'll find even as I'm talking here, I bring personal stories into it, because people want to know that that you've been there. Because you can sit there and say, oh, I know everything there is to know about business, and I have this certification and that one, or I know everything about health and fitness, and I'm this kind of a coach, and this, and this. But until they know that you have been where they have been, they're going to have a harder time relating to you. And it gets very difficult then to draw them into your circle. And so, great, Lauren, letting them do most of the talking is really important, because you're not there to tell them what to do. You're not there to tell them about your story and what you did and tell them that they need to do the same thing. But you're there to talk with them and find out where their struggle is, and to help them get from island A to island B. All right. So the big thing here is figuring out who your client is, and not hair color, eye color, all that, but like, who is she? There are certain characteristics that are important. Does she have a family and kids? That makes a big difference for me when working with a coach. I want to work with one that has that's got kids. The very first coach I hired, about 2.5 years ago, I'll be honest, when I signed up with her, I had no idea if she had a family or kids. I just knew that she had what I wanted. She had a successful business. She told me all the things that, the benefits that I was going to get by working with her, and how I was going to realize the income, and was going to create this, do this, that, or the other thing. And that's what I at that time, I was not interested. Now that I've gotten a little more savvy, that coaching experience did not work out in the best, because she didn't get me and I didn't get her. And so now that I'm more evolved, I definitely want to work with people, whether they're my clients or my coach, that that can see that we're coming from the same spot, that we can relate a little bit more. And I have helped women. Like I said, when I did health and fitness, I helped women that were not my story at all. And I had a difficult time relating. It was difficult. And I think they did on the same way. And I don't know that their results were as good had they been if we could really relate to each other and have that same story with each other. So finding out who she is really important. And then, like I said, figuring out how she feels now and how she wants to feel. Because if you can get into her head and get into how she feels and what she wants to feel, you are going to be able to touch that spot that's going to let her know that you know and that you can help her. The other just quick little aspect to bring out here, I have to look back at my notes because all of a sudden I forgot number 3. Isn't that crazy? Is really getting into what she is. And so every woman who wants to lose weight, not every woman, but women who want to lose weight, they want to lose it for different reasons. So some people want to look good in a 2-piece. Some people want to be able to fit into their pre-pregnancy clothes. Some people want to lose it because they have a family member that's nagging on them to lose it. There are a lot of different reasons. And so you have to find out what she wants. So as a business coach, I know that my clients want to make money, but why do they want to make that money? Okay. Is it about creating independence? Is it about having financial stability? Is it about paying down debt? Is it about being able to afford things for their kids? Is it about feeling successful? And so you've got to find out what they want. And again, if you're creating your marketing plan, you don't know what Susie Smith wants, but you know what the moms that you want to serve want. So again, going back to days 1 and 2, where you found out who you are, I know that I want to help moms that want to create financial stability for themselves, because that's something that's really important to me. I want to be able to afford things for my kids. And all the things I listed there are kind of the things that I want. And so when I create my marketing plan, I talk about those things. Again, because I can relate to women that want those kinds of things. I cannot relate to a woman who has, $1 million in the bank and that just wants to do this business because it's fun. Okay. I'm not saying my business isn't fun, but like, I'm not relating to that. That lady, that woman's for somebody else. And so figuring out who you are, what you feel and what you want is the first step. And then taking a look at who your ideal client is, your soulmate client, and figuring out who it is that they are, what they feel and what they want. And you're going to find that those things are pretty closely aligned. Now, obviously nobody knows who people are alike. So not everybody I help is just like myself. Like I said, I typically help moms with kids. I'm married. I might help a single mom. But again, that financial stability piece is kind of what keeps us in common there. I might help a coach that's working on health and fitness coaching, where I'm primarily focusing on business with a little bit of health sprinkled in there. I might help a coach that's helping women with mindset. Again, I do a little bit of mindset, but that's not my primary area. So you're going to find some differences with who you help, but at the same time, you're going to find a lot of similarities if you're attracting clients. And like I mentioned before, you can throw all this stuff out that I've talked about, and you can go back to the old fashioned ICA. I'm going to go hang out in the Grey's Anatomy group, and I'm going to find women there that want to do health and fitness, and that's somebody that, I'm just going to reach out and talk to people and reach out to everybody and friend everybody in that group. And I'm going to send them messages and say, hey, do you want to join my health and fitness challenge group? And you can spend a lot of time doing that, but those aren't my people. Yeah, they like Grey's Anatomy, but they might also not give a shit about health and fitness. They might also, they may already be a coach. They might already have a program. They're not my people. And I'm going to work very, very, very hard chasing those people down, because I haven't focused in on who it is that I am and who it is that I want to serve. All right. So if you have any more questions on that, throw those out to me there. Before we leave today, I want to go through and do a little visualization exercise with you. So if you're watching this now or you're watching on the replay, if you're in the car, you probably want to do this part a little bit later. But we're just going to do a little visualization exercise. So on Monday, we visualized asking ourselves who we are. Today, we are going to go and meet with our soulmate clients, and we are going to find out who they are, how they feel and what they truly want. Because sometimes just getting in the quiet of our minds, we can really see what that is a little bit better than we do when we just take pen to paper. So we're going to start with that right now. This is something that I do with any of my clients, my one-on-one coaching clients that are struggling with who their ideal client actually is. We sit down and we do this together. This is something we'll also do in the Up Level Academy. It's a good idea to sit down and spend a couple minutes doing this little visualization type exercise before you create any content. Because again, get in the head of your soulmate client and you're going to create content that is just going to attract them coming left and right to you. So let's get in our space here, get nice and comfortable, and we're going to close our eyes and we're just going to take a few deep breaths in. Inhale and exhale. Another nice deep breath in. And exhale, getting nice and relaxed all through your body. We're going to do one more inhale and exhale. Wonderful. Now today we are going to go on a journey. And right now you are driving in your car and you are heading down the road. It is a gorgeous sunny day and it is warm and you are actually wearing kind of a summery outfit. And you pull into a parking lot of a hotel that's got like a convention area in it, and you park your car, you get out of your car, and as you get out of the car, you are just overwhelmed by the sun, by the warmth, you hear the birds singing, and you're just feeling amazing, you're feeling aligned. You're not 100% sure why you've been drawn to this particular building or why you're parking at this building and getting out of your car, but you know that there's something really amazing inside that you need to check out. So you walk up to the door and you open it. And right when you're opened, of course, you're met with a whoosh of air-conditioned air. And you get a little chill down your spine, a little bit due to the excitement of the situation and a little bit due to the chill that you experienced as you walked in. And you walk through the second door and you feel even more of a chill because now you're really dying to know what is going to be going on in here. And when you walk into the hallway, it's a very long hallway and there are many, many doors lining both sides of the hallway. And you just start to walk down the hallway and you feel drawn to go to the first door on the right. So you go to the first door on the right. It's kind of a brownish color. It's a wooden door and you just put your hand on the handle and something about the doorknob just doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel like it's the room that you're supposed to be going into. So you walk away from that door and you keep going down and you go to the next door. This one's on the left side. And this door is dark green. It's a metal. And again, you put your hands on the door handle, but it feels so cold to the touch. It doesn't feel warm and welcoming. And so you decide that you're not going to enter into that door as well. So you continue walking down the hall and you see many, many doors. There is a yellow door, an orange door, but none of them are drawing your attention to them. You touch a few more of the door handles and they just don't have that right feel. Just something about them doesn't feel quite right. So you keep walking down and you see this door and it's a hot pink door. And something about the door to you looks like it's glowing. There isn't really a light coming from it, but there's just something about the door that feels just amazing and glowing and inviting. And so you go over to this doorknob, and this doorknob, when you put your hand on it, it feels warm to the touch, and you do not want to take your hand off of it. You just want to keep your hand on that doorknob. It just feels so amazing. It feels welcoming, and suddenly that chill in the air is gone that you experienced when you first walked in the building. Like this feels like that there's a reason why you need to walk into the store. So you put your hand on the doorknob and you turn it slowly and you open it up. And right away you feel welcome. You feel like you want to walk into this room and that this is just the place that you need to be. So you walk in, you let the door close behind you, and it's a room full of people, mostly women, but just full of people, wall to wall people. And something is telling you that you need to get to the other side of this room, that whatever you're there for is on the other side of this room. And so you start trying to push between all of these people. And there's just so many of them, you can hardly get by. It's like you're at a rock concert and you're trying to get up to your front row seat and there's people everywhere. And as you start to walk through them, you start to feel like it's thinning out a little bit. It's getting easier and easier to walk. And at the same time, you also feel like someone's following you. You feel like there's like a presence behind you that's not taking their eyes off of you. And so you turn around and look, and you, in fact, see that there's kind of a line of women following behind you. You feel, but you keep walking because there's that part inside of you that tells you that you need to get to the other side of this room. So you keep walking, and the more you walk, the more space there is in this room, and it becomes easier and easier to walk, but you still feel like there are people following you. Turn around and you realize that the room is emptying, but there's still this line of women following behind you. And as long as you keep walking, they keep following. And the room's getting more open. There are a ton fewer people, but there's still this line of women following you. And you finally get to the other side of the room, and you see that there is a stage at the front of the room. And you decide you're going to get on it because then you feel like you can see out over this group of women that have followed you to this place. And when you get up on the stage, you look out and you see that there were hundreds of people in this room, and now there's about 15 to 20, and they're all the women that followed you to the front of the stage. And you're just in awe that everybody's gone except for these 15 to 20 women. And the 15 to 20 women end up sitting down in some chairs that appear in front of you. So now you're standing on the stage, and these 15 to 20 women are sitting on these chairs in front of you, and you look out at them, and they are all smiling, and they look like they're just like hanging on everything that you are. They want to know what you are going to tell them or what you are going to say. And you're standing there on this stage thinking, I have no idea what I'm going to tell these women. I don't know what they want. I don't know who they are. I don't know what they're feeling. I have no idea what to tell them, but they want me to share something with them, but I don't know what that is. And so you just start talking. You start saying who you are. You tell them about who you are. And then after you tell them about who you are and tell them that you're not sure why you're here, you start asking them questions. You ask them questions about who they are, where their struggles are, what they're feeling, what they've been through. And all of these answers come flooding back to you. And they have so much information, so much insight about themselves and what they want. And you realize as they're answering these questions and their smiles and how you're feeling inside and the warmth that you feel, that these are your soulmate clients, that these women were handpicked by the universe out of all of the people in this room to follow you and to become a part of your circle. They're now in your circle, and they're telling you exactly what they need, exactly what they need. And you're just soaking it all in. And you know that you're not going to forget a piece of it because it's all becoming part of your circle. And you also realize that most of the things that these women are telling you are things that you have felt, are things that you want, or things that you wanted before you got to where you are. Because these are your soulmate clients. These are the women that are joining your circle, that are becoming part of you. And you attracted them here. Remember, you didn't know why you came to this hotel, why you came to this convention area. You have no idea why you picked this door and why you were called to walk across this room. It all happened for you on your behalf. And you just followed the lead of the universe. And now you have these women in front of you that you are here to serve. And you know that you can help each and every one of them get from island A to island B because you have the tools and you now know what they need, what they're feeling, and who they are, and you can serve them. After meeting with these women for a while and feeling so filled up and full and warm and satisfied and happy, you decide that you've gotten all the information that you need, and then it's time for you to go, to head back out the door, down the hallway to your car. But before you go, you thank each and every one of those women individually. You thank her for her time. You thank her for the information that she shared with you. You thank them for being their authentic selves and sharing that with you, because now you can take what they've shared with you and be your authentic self and share that information with the world, with your soulmate clients. So you thank each and every one of them, giving them all a nice big hug, and you walk out the door waving goodbye to your soulmate clients, telling them you'll be back again, that you're here to serve them. And you walk out the door and you start heading back down the hallway, passing by all those miscolored doors and cold doorknobs and rooms that just didn't have the right feelings inside them. You walk right past all of them. But as you're walking past them, you still feel like you have that following. And as you turn around, you see all of those women following behind you because now they're in your circle. They're with you every step of the way. They're available to you every time you need help figuring out who you are here to serve and what you should tell them and what you need to give them. They're there for you to ask. So you keep heading out the first door outside and you're greeted by that warm air. You open up the second door and you're again greeted by the hot air, the sunshine, the birds singing, and you see your car. Head over into your car and you hop in. And as you pull away, you see those women still following behind you because they're going to be with you every step of your journey. Now take a nice deep breath in. We're going to come back to the room. Inhale and exhale. And open your eyes. Awesome. That is your soulmate client journey that we just went on. It's a good idea now to get out a pen and paper and write down everything that those women told you. And if you have any takeaways from that, I'd love to hear about them either now or if you're listening to the replay. If you're not able to write down everything they told you now, you can do this exercise all the time. Always knowing that you have a choice of which room to go into, you have a choice of which women are choosing to follow you. You always have a choice, and it's up to you to take that information in and to go on the journey. So I hope this was helpful for you. I don't know about you, but I'm in like this total state of like ease and calmness, and I'm having a hard time even talking. So I'm going to sign off on this live video for today, but please share your takeaways with me or up in the group about what you learned from this. As I mentioned yesterday, the Up Level Academy, I gave it a name, is open. You can check out the post, the pin post, and find out any information you have about that. If you want more information about how to get signed up or how to, I just want to have some questions about it, you can certainly shoot me that PM and I'll share that information with you about the Up Level Academy because we are going to do more of this amazing work together and help you get in tune with that soulmate client so that you can attract them, so that you can create sales with these, so you can make money with these and have that financial stability. So have an awesome day. I see Lauren said something. Thank you, she said in 2 different messages. You're welcome, Lauren. Thank you for jumping on. I appreciate all of you that are listening to this and have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.